Now, the things you need to get ready for this session, hopefully you've done this, but a pen, please, and a piece of paper. And, oftentimes we're really busy and there's a million things going on. So if you are able and you're sat quietly somewhere and you've got your desk in front of you and you've got your phone or your laptop, just give yourself this gift. It's only 45 minutes. We put everybody else first the rest of the time. Put yourself first and just, you're here anyway. I would say absorb this and just enjoy it. The next 6 weeks is going to be like energetic, fun, but I'm going to put you to work and you are going to have to commit to some stuff. So the first thing to commit to is like the next 45 minutes. Now, with that said, before I even get started, I'm going to invite you to just pause. So I'm going to ask you just to take a really slow, deep breath in through the nose. Close your eyes. And out through the mouth. Keeping your eyes closed. Do that again. Slow, deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Notice your breath moving in and out of your body. Notice your ears hearing. Feel the different parts of your body touching the chair, the floor. Feel the energy around you. Feel the energy from your body. And take another deep breath in through the nose. And as you open your eyes, notice your eyes seeing. Thanks for doing that. Well done. That's the first tool I would just want to give you. It's the simplest thing I can give you. With everything that's going on, not just in the world right now, but at any time, right? We have busy lives. We have a barrage of information coming at us from all channels. We have a to-do list we can't get to. But we can lose sight then of what's available to us right now. And what's available to us right now is this moment. So you can that was about 90 seconds. And the nervous system needs a break. We don't pause and break. That's why there's a rise up with meditation and mindfulness. We don't pause. So I would invite you to do that regularly. Do it throughout the day. Take that 2 minutes, 90 seconds to 2 minutes, just to reconnect with the present moment. You've always got that present moment. Okay, thank you for that. Right, I'm going to really want to get to know a little bit more about you. I know some of you better than others. I've got some clients on the call as well. But I'm going to ask you 3 questions and just get ready, if you're comfortable, to type in the chat your answers. And we're not going to read them all, but just to get us a sense of who we are and why we're here. So the first question I want to ask you is, when it comes to what I call personal development, what we're here talking about, mindset, your focus on your own personal continuous growth as a human being. When it comes to that kind of information, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being, you've read 100 books and you're practicing these principles every single day, 1 being not quite there yet, or even just starting on that journey. On a scale of 1 to 10, just some numbers, type in the chat, where are you? Some 4s, some 5s, some 7s, some 9s. Yep, thank you. 6s, 5s. Okay, perfect. This is great. What this is doing is given me a sense of kind of where we're all at, but it doesn't matter. Even if you all said to me a 10, with this kind of information, you've never got it. You're always getting it. I've been studying this for many, many years and I am still getting it. We never stop. Second question. Why did you choose to sign up for this, either for today or the 6-week bootcamp in its entirety? What are your main reasons for being here? In as few or as many words as you want in the chat. Ready for change, lost track of my habits, to be inspired. Fingers crossed, Sharon. Improved mindset, to be more positive and stop self-sabotaging. Interested in change, not sure. Mindset development, to pause, love it. Commit to something that's going to benefit me in my development. Learn about the mind, to be inspired. Feeling lost and not achieving true potential or capability. Yep, great reason. Lost my way. That sounds familiar to me, Alison. Learn how to relax and concentrate. Want to change, would like group support. Perfect. And accountability. Kirsty, I'm really glad you said that, because accountability is one of the biggest reasons I'm doing this, right? I could post in a Facebook group, listen, everybody, read this book for 6 weeks and it'll change your life, but it won't. And I'm going to get into why it won't. Accountability is a success insurance policy. So by committing to this group, sometimes we like committing to other people better than we like committing to ourselves. So that is a really good reason for being here. To grow more, to add to what I've learned as I know it works. Nikki, thank you. Yeah, I know Nikki and I have worked together over the last 3 months. So Nikki is hungry for more, which is perfect, Nikki, because we keep going, right? We keep going. So thank you for that. The final question, and it doesn't matter if you don't have an answer yet, because I'm going to be asking you this to reflect on this. I'm going to be asking you to think about this over the weekend as homework, and I'm going to be talking to you about this next week. But if you do already have a goal for the next 6 weeks, what is that, if you want to share in the chat? Now, your goal could be what you've already put in place in this chat already. It could be to understand where my change is going to come from. It could be about feeling better, whatever it is for you. Just start popping things in there. Confidence, positivity. Yeah, confidence is a big one for us all. I'm going to let you reflect on that one, because I know it's something I've just like, bam, dropped on you. And we'll keep checking in on the chat throughout the session to get more in control of the way I think. Yeah, stop spiraling into negative thinking. Yeah. Move through each day with ease. Perfect, Lisa, I love it. Yeah, decision making, just do it, Meg. Get past the procrastination. More clarity. Yeah, lockdown felt strange, totally, Den. I think a lot of people don't know why they felt strange during lockdown, and I think it's probably because we had a chance to feel and we had a chance to think a little bit. For some people, for others, lockdown was even crazier than normal. So I know it's different. To build on some habits. Brilliant. Right. Thank you so much for your interaction. And I'll get to the logistics of how this is all going to work at the end, so you'll be clear on what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, what you're committing to. One thing we'll definitely do is these sessions will be in a Zoom meeting, as I said at the start. For anybody who joined later, the sessions will be a Zoom meeting as opposed to a webinar, so that we can have everybody on camera and we can have like a proper discussion. This is going to be a little bit one way. So thanks for the engagement in the chat. Strengthen my mindset to ensure a balanced approach. Yeah, more proactive and create a daily method of operation. That's powerful. I might borrow that, Sandra. Create a daily method of operation, because that's, in my world, that's habits. And we're going to talk about those today as well. So let me give you a bit of background then about me, because I guess you're trusting me for the next 6 weeks. For those who don't know me yet, for those that do, hopefully you're here because you believe what I'm talking about and you've seen the experiences in my life and people around you. But I got into this information actually 20 years ago. So I was 25 years old. I was living away from my hometown, so I was in Manchester. And I was just stuck in every way. If you looked at your life and you thought, could you be stuck in any other way? I was stuck. with the exception of my relationship, because I'd just met Mark, who I'm now married to. My job was going nowhere and I wasn't paid very well. And I'd just been passed over for the only prospect of promotion that had been on the horizon for the last 3 years. And that with that went the prospect of the money I needed, because I'd bought a house only because I couldn't afford the rent on my Didsbury flat. So I had to buy a house, but the only house I could afford had the previous owners had like smoked in it for 400 years. It had subsidence, it had rising damp, and I couldn't afford to renovate it. My car was okay, but it was definitely on its way out. So I was just in this place where, not enough money, not enough energy as well. At that time, I was kind of fearful of carbs, if I'm honest, right? I didn't eat well. My nutrition was bad. My health was, I guess I viewed my health through, if I look thin, then I'm fine. But I have like double the energy now that I had when I was 25 years old. And I know it was my diet. So I was lethargic. I slept all the time. I couldn't get enough sleep. So I told myself, job going nowhere, house I couldn't live in. And to top it all off, my commute to work was horrendous. So I would sit in, it was like what should have been a nice 15-minute drive was 45 to an hour in like stationary traffic. So only to relieve the boredom, I picked a box set off the shelf, off Mark's shelf, and it was Tony Robbins' 7-day program, Get the Edge. And that's where I got introduced to this information. And I put it on in the car and I listened to it, and I'd never heard of Tony Robbins and his voice. This was 20 years ago, before he was like well known. I loved him. He was inspirational. I felt like he was talking to me. And I put it on every day, and I put it on every night. So for like 2 hours a day, I was listening to him. It got to the end of the 7 days and I was gutted that it was finished. So I started again and then again. And I must have listened to that 7 days on repeat for months. But you know what? I know what I was doing now. I was retraining my mind. I was retraining my habits. He talks about an hour of power, if anyone knows this. And it was about getting up and doing things for yourself in the morning, like exercising, like focusing on your mindset, doing the development work early before the day starts, as well as lots of nutritional advice. All sorts was in this program. And my life, to say it changed dramatically is like an understatement. Within months, I was headhunted for this massive job with another company. I was a director by the time I was about 26, and my salary doubled. So everything shifted as soon as I started focusing differently, feeding my mind differently, putting new habits in place in my life. And I didn't know really what I was doing or why the success was coming. I just loved the stuff. So I just did it. And then my life like continued, and I'm like 44 now, I think I am 44 now. My life continued, successful leadership career I've had, until a few years ago when I lost my way again. Despite the power of that information, I lost it again. And I'd clearly stopped applying those principles. I'd stopped doing the habits. And I found myself burnt out, emotionally numb, exhausted, and just not knowing what was wrong. I could tick all the boxes. Nice family, healthy family, loving family. I have a house, I have money, I have a car, I have a good job. Tick, 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 tick. So what's wrong? I wasn't looking forward to anything. Always tired. I used to get sinus infections and colds 3 times a year. And then this time round, I found another system, and it was actually a Bob Proctor program, a 3-month program that I jumped into. And again, the difference was I'd been to seminars. I'd been to Tony Robbins seminars for 3 days thinking this is going to do something different for me. But it didn't change anything, because a week after the seminar, you just go back to same old, same old. So I got hold of another structured system and accountability from the system I was involved in. And again, dramatic transformation. That's a longer story that I'm sure I'll share as we go through the next 6 weeks. But the short version is, from being a burnt out vice president at American Express to doing what I'm now doing, is helping people live the way I think you all should live. And I'm really passionate about that, the way you all should live in all areas of your life. That's what I'm now doing. And I'm doing something that, and like, if I compare like myself at 25 years old, like not eating the right things, not looking after my body, cold after cold. Even 3 years ago, you know, the mindset work. We know that the mind has an impact on the body, and the stress and the tension and everything. It shows up eventually physically, right? And it was, and in the last 2 years, probably more than that. I don't think I've had a cold, honestly, and the energy I've got. So what I'm trying to do here is show you that systematic application of what I'm going to be talking to you about is where the answer is. Reading a book once isn't the answer. You know, reading 100 self-help books, because we do that, don't we? Why did I get off track? We do that. Like, I knew 20 years ago when I was 25, that a certain system and way of thinking and way of acting changed everything for me. It leveled up my life, and then I lost it. So even though I knew, why was I not doing it? Don't we all do that, right? You know, we know the things that can help us, but we frequently don't do it. If you look at your own life, how many times do you you want to make a change in your life, and oftentimes you know the things that you need to do to make the change, but we just keep doing what we've already done, always done. Why is that? And this is something we call the knowing doing gap, and I'm going to be explaining what this is and how you can bridge that gap. If you think about it, there's so much we all know that we don't do, right? If we want to lose weight, we know the things we need to do to lose weight. We don't need another diet book or a diet program. We know we need to move more and eat a bit less. But do we all do that thing that we know is going to get the result that we want? Even though we know on an intellectual conscious level, we don't always do that thing that we know is going to get us the result. And that's what this is about. Part of this is about, you know, have you heard the phrase shelf-helpery? So, you know, that's where we buy a self-help book and we're dissatisfied, we want something to change. So we buy the book, we take it off the shelf, we read the book, we feel inspired, and we put it down, and 2 weeks later, nothing changes. And then we do that again and again and again. But the person who reads 100 self-help books and does nothing, or the person who reads one self-help book and acts on every single principle in the book, their life soars to the next level. It's the people who do. So we have to explore this reason, explore the answer to the question, why do we frequently not do the things that we know are going to help us? And intellectually, we know they're going to help us, but we don't follow through. See, successful people do, don't they? They take action, you know? So if you think about what most of us do, and whatever I talk about, right, I want to just say this up front. This is never about judgment. This is never about criticism, and you should never judge yourself either. It's just about observing where we are today and then making a difference tomorrow, because you've only got today. So just decide what you want to do and what you want to focus on. Never beat yourself up over the past, because it's gone. But most of us, we live with what I would call a someday mindset. Does that resonate with you? Like, you know, if you're dissatisfied with something, or you're frustrated with something, or you've got an idea of something you might want to do, we kind of convince ourselves that we'll do it someday. You know, I want to change this, I'll do it just as soon as something happens, just as soon as the mortgage is paid off, or just as soon as this virus is over. That, you know, we do that, don't we? We kind of put whatever's at the end of that sentence, just as soon as. That's kind of the story. That's the kind of excuse we give ourselves to not doing it now. But we make ourselves feel better in the moment because we convince ourselves that it's going to change someday, right? So why do people not follow through then? When it's for yourself and your own life? I mean, there are many reasons, but I'm going to give you 4 of them and just talk about those for a minute. And then we'll get into, you know, what it is you want to focus on when it comes to this 6 weeks that we've got together. So the reasons I think a lot of us don't do the things we know are going to help us, do the things that are going to help us level up our life, a lot of the time, we don't have a big enough why. So we don't have a big enough reason. We don't have a big enough desire. And that's not because we don't have the desire. We just don't allow it to grow. We kind of convince ourselves that actually everything's fine, don't we? And I think we do that to protect ourselves a little bit, because we almost wear a badge of honor as like, I'm just satisfied with my life and I should be, and and that's a good thing. It's a good thing to be happy, definitely be happy, but don't be satisfied, because satisfied means you're going to stay the same forevermore. Be dissatisfied enough to want something new and create a desire. But I think we get scared of going, I really want something, because all through our lives we're taught to don't take risks. It's better to be safe than sorry. But it's not, is it? What do we want? How do we want to spend our days? That's what it comes down to. And I think when we accept lower than what we're really capable of, what we really is our potential, then we convince ourselves everything's fine, and we settle. And to some extent then we get to a certain point and maybe we just feel stuck, or we just feel bored, or we just wait for something outside of us to change. So I'm going to help you. One of the first things I'm going to help you do is get really clear on why you want to change, what's your intention, and what is it you want. So goals are going to be really important. The second reason, the second habit we need to develop is decision making. So most people don't really make proper decisions, right? We say you made a decision, whereas really a lot of the time we're saying, I'll do this. I'm committed to trying until it gets hard, or I'm committed to trying until I get an obstacle. A decision means to cut off. Think of it as decision, incision, cut off from any other possibility than the thing that you've committed to is going to happen. That has a massive, powerful effect on everything, your energy, your physiology. When you make a committed decision, meaning I've burnt the bridges, I am going regardless, the message that sends to yourself, to your mindset, to your behavior, and to the rest of the world is you're serious. And when you get good at this and you see the impact of this in the way you feel and in the way you show up, you will want to get better and better and better at making decisions. But most of us, the reason we don't follow through is we don't fully decide. So I think that's a thing for you as well as you go into this. If you're going to do this, decide to be all in. You can turn up and be passive and just take it on board and think that's nice information and I'll maybe apply a little bit of it. Or you can go, I'm going to squeeze every last bit out of these 6 weeks and I'm going to see this as the opportunity I've been looking for. The third reason, this is really important, and it's not willpower, it's discipline. Now, what's discipline? Discipline is the best definition I've heard of discipline is somebody, you can give yourself a command and follow it. You've heard that thing, haven't you? Put your own oxygen mask on before the kids. You can't pour from an empty cup. Look after yourself first. But if you commit to somebody else, you commit to a loved one, chances are 9 times out of 10 times out of 10, you're going to do it, aren't you? If you commit to your kids or somebody you love or your friends or your colleagues, you're going to do it. How often do you let yourself down? When you commit to do something for you, how often do you actually don't follow through for yourself? Now, what's that saying? Think about it. What's that saying for your self-esteem? What's that telling yourself that you're worth? When you get to the end of this 6 weeks and you get really, really good at proving to yourself that you can give yourself a command and you can follow it, your self-esteem is going to go through the roof. That's what we need to get good at. And finally, the biggest one is about habit. This is why 6 weeks, when I sat down and thought, I always have a desire to bring information to people and help people, and I'm kind of been procrastinating myself for a while as to the best way, because I know this, if I give a little bit of information, it's nice, it's helpful, it might inspire somebody for 24 hours. That's why I've created something that's 6 weeks long, because it's to help you, even if you don't want to commit to yourself, even if you don't want to believe it yet, borrow my belief, commit to this group for now until you can commit to yourself and believe it yourself, borrow it from other people. Because if you think, what are habits? The habit is something you do every day. And it's what you're doing today. Think about this, really think about this. It's what you're doing today that determines who you're becoming. If you look at somebody who is like physically fit, they got a six pack and they got muscles, and you're like, that's a body, that's an amazing specimen. You know, they didn't get that by going to the gym for 2 weeks. You know that they've gone to the gym, worked out, done something physical for 3, 4, 5 times a week for at least 6 months. They got those muscles, that body, because of their rituals, because of what they did day in, day out, day in, day out. And it's the same for your mind. Weeds grow automatically, right? So if you leave your mind to chance, stress grows automatically, anxiety grows automatically. All the negative things that you think you're not good at, that all cultivates itself. You don't need to work at that, do you? You know, we're really good at telling each other and ourselves about all the things we're crap at. You know, so this is about developing the habit, rituals, mindset processes, focus, directing your thinking, making a conscious effort to the way you think, the way you show up to every situation. And you're going to do that for 6 weeks. And I believe for the rest of your life, after the 6 weeks, habits equal results. Every thought you've had up until this point, everything you've thought about, creates a feeling inside your body, which creates the behavior that you then take, the behavior, your actions in life. That's your results. So you're just be aware. Look at the bigger picture. We kind of look at a bit narrow, don't we? We look at today and say, I'll do better tomorrow. And while that's fine, you've got to look at a bigger picture and say, if I'm always saying I'm going to do better tomorrow at taking care of myself, putting myself first, feeding my mind the right information, focusing on what I want, taking action towards my goal. If that's my mindset, fast forward 6 months, because you'll be in the same place. So by the end of this 6 weeks, that's what I'm looking to change for you. So 4 big reasons we don't follow through that we're going to get into in the next 6 weeks. And not only am I going to explain them, teach them to you and get really deep into some of these mindset concepts, I'm definitely going to do that. But the most important thing is I'm going to be asking you to apply things every day. And I'm going to guide you all the way through. So we'll have something that you're going to put in place week 1, something you're going to put in place week 2, week 3, and so on. And by 6 weeks, you're going to have built and built and built on that. It's going to be really, really powerful. So just kind of finishing off this part of the conversation before I get to the absolute logistics of how it's all going to work. As you move into the weekend, I'm going to be I asked you at the start about a goal. So I'm going to be asking you to think about a goal for the next 6 weeks. Now, that could be anything, but I want you to really reflect on this over the weekend. Just put it this way, and I often say this with my clients. There's a dash between the day you're born and the day you die. What are you filling your dash with? If you're not filling your dash right now with something that fills you up, energizes you every day, you can't wait to get out of bed, you're inspired to grow. You know, there's nothing wrong with growing. As human beings, it's in our nature to want more, to expand and to express. Think about it. If it wasn't in our nature as human beings to grow, there'd be no progress. We'd have no internet. We'd have no aeroplane. We'd have no pens or wheels. You know, it's in our DNA. It's not just some people, it's all people. So if you're somebody who's sitting feeling a bit stuck, feeling a bit dissatisfied, don't really want to complain because you don't want to be negative, just go there and try and understand what it is. Where's your pain? And it could be, let me give you some categories, because as I'm talking about this, it might inspire you to think, right, I'm going to focus these 6 weeks on one thing. And I want it to be focused. Don't pick a million things. Pick something you're going to feel proud of, something you can achieve, something you can work towards. So one category could be what I call like the hamster wheel, right? So if your life is crazy, you feel like you never think, you never stop, you've got a mind full of stuff, and you just feel like you're on a hamster wheel all the time. If that's your challenge right now, if that's the thing that you would like to change, then maybe set a goal around that. maybe set a goal for somebody who wants to, over the next 6 weeks, develop the mindset and the habits, both mind and actions. Mind comes first, of somebody who moves through their day at ease. And you can do that, right? Before I changed careers, I was still on a hamster wheel, crazy big job running a global integration of 2 companies. And I got access to this information, and nothing changed in my outside world. My job got even bigger, if anything. But with the work I did in the inner game, with the work I did inside, everything changed, and I got completely calm, and I operated in a way that felt fun. It felt energizing. It didn't feel like a hamster wheel. It didn't feel relentless or any of those words. It was actually enjoyable, and it was calm, and it was successful. So that could be your thing. It could be weight. Weight's a good one at the minute. I know some people used lockdown and had like loads of amazing fitness routines. A lot of people use lockdown and put some habits in, including me, that I wouldn't normally do, like drinking on a Sunday an extra bottle of wine. And the habits that over 3 months actually added up to a stone in weight for some people, right? So it could be that you're going to use the next 6 weeks just to focus on that. And don't put a number on it, and never put a number on the weight you want to release. Don't say lose weight, because you find what tend to find what you say you've lost, right? So if you want to release some weight, don't put a number on it. Don't commit to a number on the scales. Commit to the habits that are going to get you the result. It could be your energy. You just think, I just want to operate with more energy. Whatever you focus on throughout this process, if you commit to the 6 weeks in the way I'm going to describe it, believe me, your energy levels are going to be better than ever. That's a guarantee. It could be just happiness, right? You just might not feel emotionally fulfilled and you don't know why. So you could have a goal around that. And as we move through this, we can chat one-on-one, you can put questions in the group, and we can help you craft the goal that's going to make a difference for you, the most difference for you. Could be confidence. I forget who it was mentioned confidence. So you could just focus on, by the end of this, I'm going to be like this, just a version of me that is on a scale of 1 to 10 confidence, 10 plus. That could be your goal. That could be your goal, because it's going to be your focus. Whatever you focus on, we're going to focus on it every day, and you're going to start to move towards it, and you're going to start to attract it back in your life. It could be money. It could be financial, whatever that looks like for you. It could be, I need to do something that improves my financial situation. What does that look like? What is that goal? What would success mean for you in that area? It could be fitness. It could be a job. It could be, it could be a 6-week goal to complete a project at work, or to show up in a different way, or to provide service in a different way. If you run a business, it could be a revenue result, or it could be a client result. So really I'm sharing all of this to try and stimulate your thinking in relation to what is it you want. And if you're not clear yet, don't worry. There's going to be a period of time for you to get clear on that goal and start to, really get that focused and a bit clearer in your mind. And it won't be yet, and that's absolutely fine. Okay, so that is like a lot of the intro, I can go on and on and on, as you can imagine. I will try not to keep these things very, very long. Let me get into the final part and logistics. So basically, in the next 6 weeks, just cut into the practicalities of it. This is my intention, and I'll read it to you at some point. But before I did anything, I sat and wrote 2 pages, a manifesto or an intention. I wrote it in the present tense, so I imagined it's 6 weeks from now. And I wrote my intentions for how you all are going to feel, and what experience you are all going to have, we're all going to have together. Somewhere in the 6 weeks, I will read it to you. I set my intention, and that's what I want you to do. Set your intention. My intention for you is if you've got a goal that you've been struggling with, or you're going to make more progress and take more action towards the goal in the next 6 weeks than you've taken in the last 6 months. You're definitely going to feel energized. You are going to feel more focused than probably at any other time. The reason for that is you're going to be putting in some practices and routines and focusing daily in a way that declutters the stuff that you don't need. And a cluttered mind is an anxious mind, so you're going to feel focused and you're going to feel calmer. You're going to feel more in control. You're going to feel in control of your own circumstances, because you're going to learn that it's inside that's in control, not what's going on outside. You're going to feel calm and at ease, because you're going to be putting something in place every day that guarantees you feel calm and at ease. And two things that you all mentioned in the chat was being supported and accountable. So I really want this to be not just me. You've all got loads to give and contribute, loads of ideas. My existing clients, wherever they are on their journey, they are committed. This is how committed my clients are. We work together for either 3 months or 6 months, and they're still signing up to this boot camp. That's how committed they are. They don't need to sign up to another thing, but they are. And I believe that confidence will shine through, your self-esteem will shine through, because it's all about showing up for you, which people forget that that's the most important thing you can do. So I'm going to invite you, go into this weekend. I think we're all in the UK on this call, so it's a bank holiday. Start to feel the feeling that you're on the verge of something. You're on the verge of something great for yourself. Create that. You're creating it. It doesn't come from me. You create it. Start to create that feeling and the belief that you're on the verge of something. And if you don't have the belief yet, just borrow mine, because I have all the belief in the world, and I know I'm operating, and I invite you to operate from a place of knowing that you're going to have a great 6 weeks, and if nothing else, you will have fun and you will show up and you will feel better. And if nothing else happens, I don't think that will happen, but you'll have fun, you'll meet people, you'll learn some stuff, and it's up to you how far you take it. You might apply everything and you will see something transformational, or you might be at this moment still think, well, I'll see how it goes. I'll see what it is she's asking me to commit to first, and then I'll decide. It's up to you. Okay, so we'll get to what we'll do for kind of any questions that have come up for you, or any reflections. You can feel free to start putting them in the chat, any reflections or questions to each other or to me. And I'm going to just give you the plan right now. You get your pen. I will put this in the group, so you'll have it in the Facebook group as well. So the plan for our 6 weeks together, which I can't wait to get started. For those with kids, timing nicely with the kids going back to school as well. So we're going to start on the 3rd of September. And we're going to shoot for a 1 o'clock, same time. My hope there is that enough people can take maybe a lunch break to attend live, and we'll gauge that. We'll gauge people's availability. But we're going to start on the 3rd at 1 o'clock. Then every Monday at 1 o'clock, we're going to get on a Zoom call, and I'm going to give you that week's teachings, teach you that week's tools, guide you through what I want you to implement. And in those sessions, we're going to share. So we'll share how we're getting on. We'll share where we've got challenges, and we'll support each other. And be ready to hold other people accountable, right? That's what if you're in a group setting like this, there's a part of you that's here to be held account. That's why we do it. We need that accountability. So they're the only, right now, they are the only formal meetings. There will be lots of others, and there will be some surprise meetups that I'm going to put in the group. And I don't mean surprises and I'm going to shock you. I just mean as we move through this, I'm going to introduce some other scheduled sessions that we can do. And they'll be short ones, they'll be short and sweet. So just stay tuned, always stay tuned in the group as we progress through the 6 weeks. Have a good look around the group. I've put some almost files in there, some modules, week 1, week 2. It's basically week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. And resources will be popping up in there as we move through the 6 weeks. And I will record everything. Everything we do, we'll record and we'll post in the appropriate topics. So if we're in if this is the introduction, it will be in the introduction folder. Week 1 plus week 1 resources will be in the week 1. So that is the plan. So I'm going to pause, see if there's any questions, and then I've got a final bit from me, which is just your homework for the weekend to remind you of that. So I'll pause. We can, if you want to unmute yourself, ask questions, comments, feedback, how are you feeling? I'd love to just, anything you want to share.
You'll have to forgive me because my son's playing Fortnite in the background, so any background noise. To be honest, everything you said to me today, it's one thing that's resonated with me. I'm at a time now where I feel as though I'm ready for something. I feel as though I've got the skills, experience, talent. It's the mindset that I need to work on. So pretty much everything you said to me now is me believing in myself enough to commit and make that change. Whether that's in the 6-week cycle or whether it's beyond that, I'm committed to making that commitment, if you know what I mean.
I do.
And with, it's funny enough, I've had a 2-hour conversation with somebody else this morning, and roughly the same subject matter, albeit it's in context of my work life, which basically turned around onto me as an individual. So I've been making some notes actually before now, and a lot of it resonates with where we're at now. And everything you said absolutely strikes a chord with me, and yeah, I'm committed.
Delighted, David. Love it, and brilliant to hear it. Yeah, I mean, as you said, you got 6 weeks. Go for it, develop the habits, and then continue on from there. That's the intention. So I'm delighted. Thank you. So Kirsty, thank you. Inspired and excited. Ian, up for it. Vanessa, up for it. Meg, needing some support to get down to simple goals. Yeah, that's often the challenge, isn't it? Nice one, Jane. I'm in. Thank you. Okay. Well, as I was opening that up, feel free to jump in. Keep jumping in. I know I've kind of gone over. I didn't expect to talk that long. You'll have to forgive me for doing that. I do that sometimes. Let me just go over the homework then, but jump in with any questions as we wrap this up. So all I want you to do, you're going to have a nice bank holiday wherever you're doing, but just take time every day, just sit quietly somewhere doing whatever, put music on, go for a walk, whatever you like to do on your own, and just think about what we've talked about today. And really just try and clear away what you think you can do, what's available to you today, what you think you can get in terms of resources, and just really clear all the crap and go, well, what do I want? What do I want? And if I want to commit to something for me in the next 6 weeks, what will that be? And it doesn't have to be a massive thing. This is about you starting on the path towards something that might look different and bigger and better and more beautiful in your life for you, but it could be just something simple for the next 6 weeks. So do that. Ask yourself, if I'm going to commit to this, right? Remember desire. A big reason people don't commit to following through for themselves is they don't have a big enough desire. So whatever you decide that you want to focus on in the next 6 weeks, make it something you really, really want. You really want it. Don't just have a half-hearted, that'll do. Make it something you really want. So I would say we'll probably some people will find that easy. Some people will find that challenging. Feel free to message me. Better if we message in the group, because if you've got a question, chances are other people have got the same question. So we can get that going in the group and we can start the accountability and the support for each other right now. So that is your homework, nothing more than that. And then we get into next week on the 3rd. The way it'll work is I'll kind of typically give you 10-15 minutes to share some concepts with you, to give you some kind of information about mindset. And then I'm going to kind of basically explain what I'd like you to do for the first week and kind of set you up ready to go. So that's the plan. So this weekend up until Thursday, you got up until Thursday to just, focus on what you want, think about the 6-week goal, and go in the Facebook group. I'll be putting things in there all the time, resources, little quotes, little comments, videos, other resources that I've got access to on YouTube. So just stay tuned there as well. So I'm going to pause for another 30 seconds just in case there's any last questions or anything from anybody in the chat. I think we're good then. So let's get it wrapped up. Thank you for everybody's time today. It won't be all just one way going forward. I know it can get a little bit hard to focus when it's just me speaking at you for 45 minutes, but thanks for your attention. and I can't wait to get started. Thanks again. See you soon. Look forward to working with you. Bye, you guys.